everybody, welcome back to Friday Fun. This is Beatrice and Shelby from the Group Services Department at the Geneva Center. So as you can see, we've gathered up all of the plants from around our apartment because today's theme is becoming one with nature.
Amazing. So we're going to do some varied activities. We're going to talk about some variations on scavenger hunts. We're going to do a DIY bird feeder, and then talking about just kind of using materials from nature in your arts and crafts activities. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to get started with the first activity for today. What we're doing is just kind of like a DIY bird feeder. I used to do this as a kid with pine cones, but we couldn't find any pine cones, so we're using a toilet paper roll. We've got some bird seed, peanut butter, and then we just have a little bit of twine and a popsicle stick. You could use a real stick as well. Essentially what we're going to do is just coat the toilet paper roll in peanut butter. Obviously if there's a peanut butter allergy, you could use something else, honey, maple syrup, whatever you have, that's healthy for birds, obviously. And then you just sprinkle the bird seed on top. We'll just thread the little stick through the holes that I already made in this, and then we just hang it up with twine. Okay, so we start, like I mentioned before, we cut the little holes in the bottom of the toilet paper roll. Essentially the purpose of that, we can thread a stick through, and then it'll be a little stand for the birds once it's covered in food, but we don't need that yet. So after you have that, you just coat it in peanut butter. I'm not going to go crazy here because this is a really good peanut butter and I don't necessarily want to share it all with the birds, but just enough to coat it so that the bird seed would be able to stick to it. I put on too much. This can be really messy, so we would recommend putting down a garbage bag or a newspaper, something like that. We didn't think of that until right now, so we are unprepared for the consequences. Okay, so that's pretty covered. I'm pretty covered. Next step, yikes, is really just kind of like sprinkling the bird seed on top. Like I said, a little messy. You want to do it so it's fully coated. There we go. After we're here, you just thread the stick through the hole that I can't find right now. Here we go. Perfect. So we're gonna leave that to kind of set for a little bit. And then once it's all dry and I'm less sticky, we're just gonna tape twine up and then we can hang it to a tree, something like that. But simple as that.
So the next activity that we thought people could do at home is a scavenger hunt. So we came up with a couple of variations. We put together a little list of some things that you can find in nature, since today our theme is nature, of course. This is the type of scavenger hunt where you kind of take a list of what you find. So some of the things we have written down are a yellow flower, the sound of a bird chirping, a traffic light, and cars of different colors. So essentially these are the kinds of scavenger hunts where if you go out, you can kind of put it together before you go on a walk maybe, or a quick walk around the neighborhood, and you can kind of get your kid to check off the items that they see. Some other variations on scavenger hunts are you don't actually have to leave your house to do one. You could either just pick household items and put that in a scavenger hunt, or actually print out things and put them around the house and kind of hide them and make it an indoor scavenger hunt. Also, if you maybe aren't going for a walk, or if the weather's really bad, or if you're just trying to stay inside, which we all should, you can do it from your window, try to see everything that you can see outside, and do a list format like that.
We really like to do like as individualized as possible. Mm-hmm. So we would say go off your child's interests if you can. Sometimes you have to get like a little bit crafty, a little bit creative. Definitely. For that. If your child likes lights, do different types of lights, street lights, traffic lights, crosswalk lights, what have you. Numbers, focus on colors, anything really to get them kind of like engaged in the environment, out and about in nature if possible. Obviously that's not an option for everyone, but if you do have any space where you can have your kids outside, that's preferred.
Okay, so another thing that we like to do is set up an ongoing project. So since we have kind of a lot of time inside, it gives you something to look forward to when you have a project that lasts more than one day. So a favorite of ours is planting plants, obviously. So just putting in some seeds in a little pot. You don't even need a planter pot, just anything that can provide some drainage at the bottom. And then it kind of helps you structure your day. Every morning you can kind of check in on the progress, and it's really exciting to see something grow that you've actually planted. Another example of an ongoing project that you could do
Even like getting a little crafty with what you're planting. I've seen people do like avocado pits, planting like pineapple core things. There's lots of different options, even just using like leftover produce, stuff like that. We also have some other things we gathered from outside. We just, in the center, really try to get crafty with what we're doing for arts and crafts. We get really bored of painting with a paintbrush every day. So we pulled in some different types of coniferous needles that you can use that in paint projects. So just like dipping it in paint, brushing it across the paper, seeing kind of the impact of that. Any time that's spent in nature or outdoors is really beneficial. So it doesn't need to be kind of like a typical facilitated activity. Even if it's just fun to kind of hit a stick back and forth, listen to the sound, listen to the imprint it would make on the dirt or on the sand, that's a great activity. Definitely. As long as you're getting outside where you can, staying safe, it's fun and functional. Okay, thanks so much for tuning into our Friday Fun Nature special today. Hopefully you can use some of the ideas that we talked about today. Get outside and enjoy the sun.